Your weaknesses are not dangerous until they are seen. They live inside you quietly, like old servants who obey in silence, waiting in the corners of your soul. They do not threaten you as long as you keep them in the dark, but the moment you expose them to light, they cease to serve you. They turn against you. A weakness shown is a weapon surrendered. The world does not strike where it cannot see. It strikes where it finds clarity. Men do not stab in fog. They wait for the shape to emerge. And when they see it, they aim for the heart. So the wise keep the fog close. They speak little, they reveal nothing. They let others wonder what lies beneath the mist. For mystery is protection, and visibility is death. People say truth makes you free. They are wrong. Truth makes you readable, and the one who can be read can be ruled. Transparency is worshipped by fools, but avoided by rulers. The lion does not roar before it kills. It stalks in silence. The serpent does not hiss before it strikes. It waits, motionless. Power is patient. Weakness is restless. The one who speaks first loses. You see, the world is a court of mirrors. Every gesture reflects, every word echoes, every reaction is recorded in the minds of others. You may believe you are simply living, but you are being studied. Every man you meet, every eye that glances at you, collects a piece of your map. They learn your rhythm, your habits, your emotions, and when they have enough pieces, they own the whole design. They know where to press, how to provoke, how to break. That is why concealment is not deception, it is defense. Silence is not cowardice, it is sovereignty. The quiet man commands attention not by demand, but by presence. His stillness is a blade, unseen but felt. In his calm, others hear the echo of their own unease. They begin to fill the silence with their own fears, and in doing so, they reveal more than he ever will. The one who speaks is exposed. The one who listens is armed. When you are silent, people start to explain themselves to you. They confess, justify, reveal. They show the small cracks in their armor. And while they think they are convincing you, they are building the path for your control. Machiavelli understood this well. Men do not love the truth. They love illusion. And the one who shapes illusion shapes reality. Do not be eager to be understood. The desire to be understood is the first betrayal of self. It is the moment you hand the key of your inner chamber to the crowd and beg them to treat it gently. But the crowd never does. They dissect what you show them. They do not see the sacred, they see the useful. And when they find the pattern, they will use it. Weakness is not a wound, it is a signal. The more clearly you show it, the more eyes turn toward it. Like blood in the water, it draws the curious, the cruel, and the calculating. Some will come to comfort you, others to study you, but all will look, and every look takes something from you. When too many eyes have seen your pain, it no longer belongs to you. It becomes property of the world. A wise man hides his storms within his composure. Let the thunder roll beneath his chest, but let the surface remain still. Let the world see calm where there is conflict, serenity where there is struggle. For the crowd fears what it cannot read. A silent man surrounded by chaos becomes a mystery, and mystery is always respected. Predictability is an invitation to control. The more others can foresee your reaction, the less you own it. They will provoke you simply to confirm their prediction. And when you react as expected, they will smile, for they have learned your code. You must never let them see the pattern of your emotion. Let them guess, let them doubt. Confusion in the minds of others is your fortress. Power is not about dominance, it is about direction. He who dictates perception dictates reality. You do not need to convince the world you are strong. You only need to convince it that you cannot be measured. A ruler who appears unreadable forces his enemies into hesitation, and hesitation, over time, becomes submission. Do not explain. Every explanation is a concession. The moment you justify yourself, you surrender authority. The moment you seek to be liked, you lose respect. The strong are not cruel, they are quiet. They do not plead for understanding because they understand the futility of it. People do not want truth, they want consistency. They crave an image to worship, not a reality to accept. So give them an image. Build it carefully, maintain it ruthlessly, protect it with silence. Let your calmness speak louder than your confessions ever could. When they ask what you feel, say little. When they provoke you, smile. When they insult you, stay still. Every reaction withheld is a victory unseen, and every victory unseen becomes fear in their minds. Fear is not built through aggression, it is built through control. The man who can look into conflict and remain unmoved commands every man who trembles in its presence. There is strength in restraint. In a world addicted to noise, restraint becomes power. The king who speaks last controls the narrative. The soldier who waits longest wins the ground. The lover who hides his desire becomes the one pursued. Patience is not weakness, it is mastery of time. The ancients understood that strength was never in the body, but in the image. The sword may break, the armor may fail, but perception endures. A single illusion well maintained can outlive the truth itself. People obey what they believe, not what they know. And if they believe you cannot be broken, then you are, for all practical purposes, unbreakable. Your weakness becomes dangerous only when it escapes your control. Keep it caged. Study it. Feed it silence. Every man has fears. The difference is that the wise command theirs, while the foolish display them. The wise do not eliminate pain, they own it. They transform it into discipline, into awareness, into force. Remember, the world rewards confidence, not accuracy. It crowns those who look certain, even when they are not. The illusion of stability is worth more than the truth of chaos. And in the eyes of men, the illusion is the truth. So hide your weaknesses, not out of shame, but out of strategy. Let the world see your surface, but never your depth. For in the age of observation, mystery is the last form of freedom. You are strongest when they cannot tell if you are strong at all. Because uncertainty, when well crafted, becomes invincibility. Silence, when mastered, becomes more powerful than speech. Words reveal your intent, but silence conceals your depth. And the man whose depth cannot be measured is feared. The world cannot attack what it cannot define, and so it whispers around you, inventing meanings where none were given. That is how silence becomes influence, not by force, but by absence. The untrained man believes that silence is emptiness, that it is weakness, submission, or uncertainty. But those who have walked close to power understand that silence is a weapon sharpened by patience. Every second you remain still, you force others to fill the void with their own voices. They speak, they justify, they reveal. They show you the map of their minds while you remain unreadable. In their noise, you learn everything. In your quiet, you lose nothing. When a fool argues, he bleeds his strength into the air. He throws pieces of himself into the hands of anyone willing to catch them. Every defense, explanation, every reaction, it all becomes material for others to use. The wise man gives them nothing. He lets the conversation fold upon itself until his silence becomes a mirror. In that mirror, they see their own insecurity, their own noise, their own lack of control. Power does not require volume, it requires gravity. A single pause from the right man can silence a crowd. The hesitation of a ruler carries more weight than the roar of 100 subjects. Why? Because the world is addicted to certainty, and silence denies it. People cannot stand the space between question and answer. They crave reaction, and the one who withholds it controls them. When you are silent, you hold time hostage. You dictate the rhythm of the exchange. The impatient will reveal their hand. The arrogant will stumble over their own words. The frightened will fill the room with noise just to escape the tension. And all the while, you learn. Observation becomes strategy. Patience becomes dominance. The greatest manipulations in history were not spoken, they were allowed. A man of power knows when to remain quiet long enough for others to betray themselves. The enemy who believes you know nothing becomes careless. The ally who assumes your agreement exposes his real loyalty. And all you did was listen. Machiavelli understood that silence was not passive, it was a tool of rulers. The prince who observes more than he speaks gathers advantage without cost. He loses nothing, spends nothing, yet gains insight into every player around him. To speak is to spend. To remain quiet is to invest. When you speak too often, your words lose value. When you remain silent, even a whisper becomes gold. People lean in, afraid to miss a fragment. They project importance onto every syllable because rarity creates worth. That is why restraint, not excess, defines power. Do not rush to correct what others believe of you. Let them think what they wish. False perception is a tool, not a threat. It gives you room to move unseen. The man they think you are becomes your shield. You can act freely behind the illusion. Correction brings clarity, and clarity is dangerous. The fewer truths others hold about you, the safer you are. You must learn the art of deliberate opacity. The fog around your intentions should not be the result of confusion, but of control. You must learn how to speak without revealing, how to look without confirming, how to agree without surrendering. This is the discipline of silence, not muteness, but mastery of perception. In every conversation, there are two forms of speech, the words spoken and the silence between them. The fool listens to the words, the strategist listens to the pauses. For in the gaps lie hesitation, guilt, desire. The space between sounds reveals more than the sounds themselves. The ability to remain calm when others demand reaction is a mark of command. When you do not respond, they begin to doubt their influence over you. Doubt becomes anxiety. Anxiety becomes respect. That is how stillness subdues the loud. The predator that moves slowly controls the pace of the hunt. When people cannot read you, they cannot prepare for you. Their fear grows in the absence of clarity. They begin to imagine you as more than you are, stronger, wiser, more dangerous. And in that belief, they give you real power. Their perception builds the throne you could never build with your own hands. It is a dangerous mistake to believe that openness creates safety. Openness invites dissection. The world does not protect what it understands, it exploits it. The most respected men in history were not those who spoke everything, but those whose silence forced others to interpret them forever. They became myths, and myth is stronger than truth. The modern man confuses exposure with courage. He believes that sharing his pain earns him empathy, that revealing his struggle makes him authentic. But the world is not compassionate, it is calculating. Every confession becomes currency in the hands of another. Every truth becomes leverage. Empathy fades, but memory remains. The thing you reveal in trust will one day return as a weapon. Guard your vulnerabilities as you would a kingdom. Every emotional reaction is a gate left open. Every confession is a crack in your wall. It is not cruelty to protect yourself, it is wisdom. A ruler cannot afford to be transparent. The sun blinds those who look directly into it, but reveals nothing of its core. You must become the same. The strong do not resist emotion, they redirect it. When anger comes, they let it burn silently into discipline. When fear arises, they forge it into awareness. When sorrow knocks, they turn it into solitude, not weakness. Emotion is raw energy. You decide whether it destroys or transforms you. The silence of power is not emptiness, it is concentration. It is all the storms, all the doubts, all the noise of the inner world gathered into one steady flame. From the outside, it looks calm. From the inside, it burns endlessly. That is the true essence of control, to contain chaos without letting it spill. You must train your silence as a warrior trains his weapon. To hold it steady when provoked, to sharpen it through restraint, to strike with it only when it matters. A single moment of silence placed with precision can end an argument, a threat, even a rebellion. In politics, silence is diplomacy. In war, it is deception. In life, it is power. Those who speak too soon lose advantage. Those who wait too long lose opportunity. The art is to wait until others are deafened by their own noise, and then, when the room is tired of voices, speak once. And in that one sentence, move the world. Your silence must not be passive, it must be guided. The fool's silence is fear. The king's silence is command. Learn the difference. So let them talk, let them argue, let them reveal themselves in the mirror of their own noise. You remain still. For the world always destroys itself in motion. And when the noise finally fades, only one voice will remain, the voice of the one who never needed to shout. Power has always been a matter of perception. The world is not ruled by those who hold truth, but by those who shape what truth looks like. Every empire, every leader, every legend survives, not because of force, but because of image. The image is the real throne. It is not carved in marble or gold. It is built inside the minds of others. Once you live there, you no longer need to fight. People do not see reality. They see what they want to believe about it. They fill in the gaps with imagination, emotion, fear, and desire. And when you learn to shape those gaps, you learn to govern them. The art of power is not about controlling facts, it is about controlling interpretation. The greatest rulers understood this instinctively. Caesar did not need to convince Rome of his divinity. He made them believe it by standing above them in silence. Alexander did not have to prove he was chosen by the gods. He acted as if he was, and the world obeyed. People crave certainty more than truth. When they see someone who walks as if he already knows the answer, they follow. Perception is not decoration. It is the invisible architecture of influence. You design it the way an architect designs a fortress. Every gesture, every silence, every movement either strengthens or weakens the structure. Most people build their image unconsciously and wonder why it collapses. The strategist builds it deliberately and watches it last. Your words are bricks. Your tone is mortar. Your composure is the foundation. When you lose control of your reactions, you let cracks appear. People start to see through them. They begin to imagine weakness beneath the surface. And once imagination takes hold, reality follows. Because perception creates reality. The predictable man has no defense. When people can foresee your moves, they learn to manipulate you. Predictability is obedience in disguise, a rhythm the world can dance to without fear. That is why mystery is essential. The unreadable man is dangerous because he exists beyond expectation. He breaks patterns, he disrupts certainty. He cannot be categorized, and what cannot be categorized cannot be controlled. To be unpredictable is not to be chaotic. Chaos is mindless movement. Unpredictability is strategy disguised as stillness. It is the quiet art of bending time to your will. You act not when you must, but when others least expect it. Your calmness misleads. Your silence terrifies. Your timing conquers. In the court of power, emotion is spectacle. People cry, shout, react, and expose. The one who observes without expression becomes the center of gravity. Others orbit him unknowingly. This is the secret of presence. When your restraint becomes a mirror, people see themselves in it. They reveal everything. They try to fill your silence with meaning, and in doing so, they give you all their truths. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand." He understood that the human mind is a theater, and the one who writes the scene controls the audience. You must become the playwright of your own image. Every gesture should have purpose. Every pause should carry weight. Every word must serve architecture. People do not need to love you. They need to believe in the version of you that fits their desire. Let them. The man they imagine will always be more powerful than the man they truly know. For once they believe in their own idea of you, they will defend it even against you. Power does not demand explanation. It demands consistency of illusion. And illusion does not mean deception. It means selection. You cannot show everything. You must show only what reinforces the design. The rest must remain hidden behind walls of silence and calm. Think of yourself as both the sculptor and the statue. Your actions carve you. Your silence polishes you. Every choice adds texture to the image others carry in their minds. The moment you stop sculpting, the world begins to sculpt you instead. Do not correct every misunderstanding. Misunderstanding is a tool. Let people think what benefits you. Their assumptions create space for your strategy. If they believe you are weak, you can strike without warning. If they believe you are strong, you can win without striking. Both serve you, as long as you control the belief. There is power in the fog. People fear what they cannot see clearly. They hesitate, they speak softer, they step carefully. And hesitation is the beginning of submission. The unknown bends even the proudest minds. The art of perception is the art of creating deliberate fog. Show them fragments, never the whole. Let them wonder whether you are confident or insane, gentle or ruthless, broken or divine. Their uncertainty will keep them at a distance, and distance protects the throne. The modern man worships exposure. He believes that transparency equals honesty, that confession equals connection. He floods the world with his feelings, his failures, his fears, and in doing so, he hands everyone the map to his soul. Then he wonders why they always find a way to hurt him. Do not confuse authenticity with openness. Authenticity is being true to yourself. Openness is handing yourself away. The wise man knows the difference. Control the way your image is consumed. You must decide which pieces of yourself the world deserves to see and which it will never touch. That decision alone separates rulers from the ruled. Even your kindness should have discipline. Smile, but never too easily. Speak warmly, but never too long. Help, but never without purpose. The world mistakes endless kindness for weakness, and mercy without restraint for naivety. Keep your kindness sharp, your warmth measured, your mercy conditional. This way, when you choose to show them, it becomes an act of control, not exposure. You must also understand this. Perception is a living thing. It breathes, it shifts, it changes shape with every action you take. If you neglect it, it turns against you. You must feed it constantly, with subtlety, with precision, with mystery. A single careless moment can destroy years of crafted image, so guard your behavior as a general guards a border. Every gesture matters, every silence echoes, every glance builds or breaks the myth. A true strategist lives in layers. The surface speaks one language, the eyes speak another, and the silence behind them tells the truth only he knows. You are not just a man, you are a composition, and each note must be intentional. The weak man reacts to how the world sees him. The strong man decides what the world sees. That is the difference between existence and design. When you master this architecture, when every movement becomes a brick in your fortress of perception, you no longer chase respect. It comes to you naturally, because people respect what they cannot fully understand. They revere what stands beyond their comprehension. And that is the ultimate secret. The more clearly they see you, the less they fear you. So, blur the edges, dim the light, speak through silence. Let the world see only enough to believe, never enough to know. Power that is not rooted in control will always collapse. You can deceive the world for a time, but if you cannot command yourself, the illusion eventually fractures. The most dangerous enemy you will ever face is not outside you. It is the one that speaks inside your mind when you are alone. Control begins where emotion ends. The crowd worships expression. The strategist worships restraint. To rule others, you must first rule the impulses that make you human. Every emotion is a potential betrayal. Anger exposes you. Fear binds you. Desire enslaves you. Control liberates you. Most men live as slaves of reaction. They answer insult with anger, failure with despair, fear with avoidance. They move only when provoked, like puppets tied to the strings of circumstance. But the man who does not react, the one who pauses, rewrites the script of reality itself. In that silence, he ceases to be a participant and becomes an author. Self-control is not suppression, it is transformation. It is taking chaos and shaping it into precision. It is not the absence of feeling, it is mastery of expression. You may burn inside, but your face remains calm. You may doubt, but your voice stays steady. That is not hypocrisy. Every outburst is a confession. Every uncontrolled reaction is a door opened for others to enter and map your weaknesses. They test, they provoke, they watch. Each time you show emotion, you give them a coordinate. And piece by piece, they assemble the map of your mind. When that map is complete, they know where to strike. So control is not just composure, it is survival. The more unpredictable your response, the less power others have over you. If they cannot anticipate your reaction, they cannot manipulate you. To master control, you must first understand the anatomy of temptation. Every provocation has a purpose, to make you reveal yourself. People do not seek your truth, they seek your pattern. Once they know it, they can predict you. And once they can predict you, they can control you. Therefore, the most powerful act of defiance is stillness. It breaks the rhythm others rely on. It confuses them. They expect you to shout, to justify, to defend. When you do none of it, their plan collapses. They become desperate to fill the silence, and in that desperation, they expose themselves. Control is the art of reversal, turning their probing into your power. Let them speak. Let them try to decode you. Every word they reveal is data. Every emotion they display is a weakness you can use later. The more they talk, the more you learn. The more you listen, the stronger you become. Stillness is not passivity. It is gathering. It is sharpening. It is energy condensed into waiting. The patient man does not lose time. He collects it. Every second he holds his tongue is a weapon being forged. And when he finally speaks, his words hit like precision strikes. Control also means timing. Even the right action, done too soon, becomes failure. A ruler of self understands rhythm. When to act, when to retreat, when to let others exhaust themselves. Most battles are won not by strength, but by waiting for the opponent to make the first mistake. The impulse to react is the enemy's greatest ally. The man who reacts becomes predictable. The man who watches becomes inevitable. Machiavelli once wrote that fortune favors the bold, but he also meant the measured bold. The fool rushes into chaos, believing speed is power. The wise move slow, but with precision, because every step is calculated. Boldness without control is suicide. Control without boldness is paralysis. The ruler knows how to merge the two, stillness before the storm, precision within it. To control yourself, you must study yourself as if you were your own enemy. Watch your triggers, learn your habits, observe what makes you weak. This is the highest form of intelligence, awareness turned inward. You cannot command what you do not understand. Do not fight emotion, redirect it. Anger becomes determination, fear becomes awareness, doubt becomes reflection. The alchemy of control is the transformation of weakness into movement and movement into mastery. You will be tested. Life will not respect your silence, it will provoke it. The world will throw insults, betrayal, loss, humiliation. They are not punishments, they are measurements. Each one asks a question: do you still control yourself? If you answer with emotion, you fail. If you answer with patience, you ascend. Control does not mean indifference, it means sovereignty. You do not avoid feeling, you simply refuse to kneel before it. Emotion is a visitor, not a ruler. You let it come, you let it speak, and you let it pass. That is the discipline of kings. When others panic, remain composed. When others beg, remain quiet. When others rage, remain still. You will not just appear strong, you will become the axis around which they turn. People crave stability. When they cannot find it within themselves, they seek it in others. If you remain centered while they spin, they will naturally orbit you. This is gravitational control, calmness as dominance. You must also understand the language of patience. Patience is not delay, it is dominance stretched across time. The impatient man surrenders control to circumstance. The patient man dictates when the world moves. Patience makes others predictable. Impulsiveness makes you vulnerable. Each time you wait, others reveal themselves. They act first. They show their fears, their limits, their desperation. And by the time they realize you are still silent, it is already too late. Control is not visible, it is felt. It is the quiet wait in a room when you speak softly and others fall silent. It is the invisible discipline that makes your presence command attention without effort. The loud man seeks power. The calm man already has it. This is why silence is terrifying. People equate reaction with control. When they do not receive a reaction, they lose orientation. They begin to question their own strength. In that confusion, your authority grows. Silence is the mirror of control. It reflects back the weakness of others. To control yourself is to transcend dependency. You stop needing approval, validation, or understanding. You no longer depend on external peace to feel internal order. You carry your stability with you. You become untouchable. Power built on emotion collapses with emotion. Power built on control endures through eternity. Because discipline outlasts impulse. Restraint outlasts chaos. The ruler of self is the ruler of circumstance. Even when the world falls apart, he remains steady. And his steadiness terrifies the unstable. They do not understand how a man can burn and still not scream. They will call you cold, arrogant, detached. But what they are truly naming is your mastery. Control is not about becoming inhuman. It is about becoming complete. It is about harmonizing your instincts with your intellect. The beast obeys impulse. The machine obeys logic. The master commands both. One day, everything you built will be challenged. The world will test your composure again and again. But if you can remain silent when chaos screams, calm when fear burns, and still when others crumble, you will have crossed the invisible line between men and rulers. And when that day comes, remember, the one who rules himself does not need to rule others. The world naturally bends toward the controlled because it is drawn to what it cannot shake. That is the alchemy of control, to take the fragile matter of chaos and refine it into calmness so absolute that it reshapes the room, the crowd, the destiny itself. Power does not disappear when it hides, it strengthens. The greatest forces in nature are unseen: gravity, wind, time. They move silently, yet everything obeys them. The same law governs power among men. What is visible invites resistance. What is invisible controls effortlessly. The unseen hand moves more than the iron fist ever could. Your strength lies not in being known, but in being felt. When people cannot name your intention, they begin to imagine it. Their imagination becomes your army. Fear, respect, fascination, all born from the same place: uncertainty. You do not need to command them directly. You let their minds do the work for you. The shadow does not shout to be feared, it simply remains. It does not fight for space, it defines it. The man who walks like the shadow, calm and deliberate, rules the room without raising a hand. Because power is not motion, it is presence. When you learn to withdraw, to become quiet, to exist just beyond the reach of comprehension, you ascend beyond ordinary strength. The loud demand attention, the silent command it. The world is drawn to mystery as moths to flame. They cannot resist what they cannot resolve. Every age worships noise. Men reveal their hearts in pursuit of validation, display their struggles for sympathy, speak before they think. They confuse exposure with influence. But the more the world sees you, the less it fears you. Familiarity erases authority. The ruler understands this. He lets himself be known only in fragments. The rest remains behind the curtain, where his silence grows into legend. Legends are not built on truth, they are built on absence. The more people wonder, the greater you become. When they cannot explain you, they elevate you. When they cannot predict you, they mythologize you. That is why every true ruler lives partly in shadow. He is seen, but never fully known. He is heard, but never fully understood. He moves like time, felt by all, mastered by none. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must be both the fox and the lion, cunning enough to avoid traps, strong enough to scare wolves. But he forgot to mention, the shadow is both. It is unseen cunning and silent force at once. You must become that shadow, ungraspable, untouchable, but always present. Your weakness ceases to exist when it can no longer be seen. The pain you conceal becomes armor. The fear you tame becomes intuition. The silence you cultivate becomes gravity. The less you expose, the less can be used against you. Every hidden scar becomes a secret weapon. Every buried emotion a tool of discipline. You must learn to appear human, but never ordinary. Let them see the reflection of what they wish to see, compassion, strength, serenity, but let the real machinery of your mind remain beneath the surface. Show warmth when it buys loyalty, distance when it commands respect, quiet when it invites fear. A master is not defined by what he shows, but by what he withholds. People do not attack what they do not understand. They retreat before the unknown. To make yourself untouchable, you must become unreadable. Not by pretending, but by mastering the balance between truth and illusion. Truth is a blade, sharp but fragile. Illusion is armor, flexible, enduring. Combine them and you become indestructible. The truth you hold within gives you clarity. The illusion you project gives you protection. Both are needed, for the world devours what is unguarded and distrusts what is too concealed. The art lies in giving them just enough. Your silence should not be empty, it should be full of suggestion. When you say nothing, make them wonder what you're thinking. When you act, make them believe it was planned long before. The mind of a ruler must always seem larger than the moment. The shadow teaches patience. It waits while others rush. It endures while others fade. Time destroys the impulsive and rewards the disciplined. When others burn fast and vanish, you remain. Steady, invisible, eternal. Control yourself long enough and the world begins to orbit around your calm. People find comfort in those who cannot be shaken. They begin to depend on your composure, and dependency is power. Soon, their peace depends on your presence. Their direction depends on your silence. You no longer need to command. Your stillness becomes the command itself. The ultimate dominance is not physical, it is psychological. It is when others adjust their behavior in your presence without being told. It is when your restraint dictates their tone. Your silence sets their pace. Your gaze shifts the room. That is authority in its purest form. Invisible, inevitable, absolute. Every empire falls, every king dies, every monument crumbles. But the impression left by control outlives them all. The discipline you master becomes memory in the minds of others. They will speak of your calmness, your patience, your silence, not because they understood it, but because it unsettled them. That is immortality. You must understand, however, that shadow does not mean absence. It means distance. It is the space between you and the chaos of the world. It allows you to observe without being consumed, to influence without being exposed. The world will tempt you to step fully into the light, to prove yourself, to justify, to reveal. Resist it. The light burns those who have not mastered shadow. Darkness is not evil, It is refuge. It is where power regains its shape before returning to the stage. Every strong man retreats into it at times, to think, to recover, to plan. The weak fear solitude. The strong are shaped by it. When the world cannot see your thoughts, it cannot predict your future. When it cannot predict your future, it cannot stop it. That is the quiet geometry of domination. And when you finally act as if your movement was written long before. Let every decision feel inevitable, every step calculated. The more inevitable you appear, the less they resist you. Because men do not fight destiny, they kneel before it. Control, mystery, silence, shadow, they are not decorations, they are foundations. The pillars upon which all power stands. Strip them away, and you become just another man trying to be understood. Keep them intact, and you become the axis around which others spin. The last secret of power is simplicity. You do not need to prove, to fight, to explain. You only need to remain, calm, deliberate, and unseen at the right moments. The storm will rage, the noise will grow, but the man who endures the silence outlasts them all. Because in the end, the world fears not those who shout the loudest, but those who whisper nothing and are still obeyed.